Thank you for purchasing your bike from Performance. We're glad that we can be a part of your cycling experience. Don't forget, if you live in the area of a Performance bicycle retail store, you can bring your new bike in for service for as long as you own it with our free lifetime adjustments. If for any reason you do not have the proper tools or are not confident building a bike yourself, we strongly suggest that you take your bike to a local bike shop for assistance or have them assemble it. They may charge you a fee to do so. Hi, I'm Brian from Performance Bicycle, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble your new Path Pavement bike. Tools you'll need: hex wrench set, typically 6mm, 5mm, and 4mm wrenches required, box cutter or scissors, cable cutters, pedal wrench, bike grease, Torx wrench, bike pump, bike stand, Phillips head screwdriver. Carefully cut through the top of the cardboard box with a sharp box cutter or a pair of scissors. Once the box is open, remove the saddle and the seat post, remove the bike, remove the small parts box. Be sure that all parts and material are removed before proceeding. Carefully remove all of the packing material from the bike. Detach front wheel from side or frame. Remove all cardboard and material from the front wheel, including the protective axle plugs. Remove all cardboard and material from the handlebar, stem, and fork. Install the seat post. Apply a small amount of grease to the inside of the seat tube and the seat post below the minimum insertion line. For carbon seat post installation, apply carbon paste. Do not grease the seat tube. Loosen the bike frame seat clamp and insert the seat post beyond the minimum insertion line. Clamp down the quick release lever or use a hex wrench to tighten the seat post clamp. Do not over-tighten. Over-tightening can lead to product failure and result in injury or death. Install the stem and handlebar. Be sure that your cable routing is appropriate and that there are no kinks in the cables. Prior to stem installation, remove top cap from steer tube with a hex wrench. Install stem, located in the small parts box, by sliding it onto the steer tube. Reinstall top cap with hex wrench. Place the handlebar in the stem. Make sure the handlebar is positioned appropriately. Resecure the faceplate and bolts to the stem with a hex wrench by alternately and equally tightening them. For reference, the gap opening between the faceplate and the stem should be equal on both the top and bottom. Do not over-tighten. Over-tightening can lead to product failure and result in injury or death. Install the quill stem and handlebar. Be sure that your cable routing is appropriate and that there are no kinks in the cable. Install the stem, located in the small parts box, by inserting it into the head tube. Tighten the compression nut with a hex wrench. Place the handlebar in the stem. Make sure the handlebar is positioned appropriately. Resecure the faceplate and bolts to the stem with a hex wrench by alternately and equally tightening them. Do not over-tighten. Over-tightening can lead to product failure and result in injury or death. Install the front wheel, rim brakes. Install quick release skewer through the axle of the front wheel, located in the small parts box. Note positioning of the coil springs on the skewer before mounting. Mount the front wheel on the fork. Please note the tire direction by ensuring that the tread pattern is correct. The quick release lever should be on the non-drive side. For reference, this is the left side of the bike if you were sitting on the saddle. Tighten the skewer. Once tightened, make sure that the quick release is tucked upwards to avoid snags. Depress front brake lever. Insert brake cable end into lever. Release front brake lever while inserting brake cable through brake lever body and barrel adjuster. Pull on the aluminum cable noodle with one hand while hooking the lower end of the noodle into the slotted link on the brake arm. Your brake pads will need to be adjusted. Grasp the brake pad with one hand and loosen the brake pad bolt with a hex wrench. Align pad to be parallel with the wheel rim. Do not let the pad come into contact with the wheel rim at any time during the wheel revolution. Install the front wheel and disc brakes. Install the front wheel disc rotor, located in the small parts box, to the front wheel with T25 Torx bolts. Note rotation direction indicated on the rotor. Tighten the bolts in a star pattern. Install quick release skewer through the axle of the front wheel, located in the small parts box. Note positioning of the coil springs on the skewer before mounting. Remove the bleed block located in the brake cylinder before wheel installation. Do not squeeze the brake lever until the brake caliper and wheel are in place. Carefully maneuver the rotor into the disc brake cylinder. Tighten the skewer. Once tightened, make sure that the quick release is tucked upwards to avoid snags. Grab and hold the front brake lever on the handlebar to center the brake caliper alignment to the rotor. Tighten brake bolts to secure brake caliper. Release hold on the front brake lever and carefully rotate front wheel. Make sure that the rotor does not contact the brake pads. Install pedals. Apply a small amount of grease to each of the pedal threads. Install right pedal, R, located on the pedal axle or spindle, with pedal wrench by threading onto the drive side crank arm in a clockwise direction. For reference, this is the right side of the bike if you were sitting on the saddle. Do not force a pedal that will not easily thread. You may inadvertently cross-thread the crank arm, which will damage the product. Install left pedal with pedal wrench by threading into the non-drive side crank arm in a counterclockwise direction. For reference, this is the left side of the bike if you were sitting on the saddle. Inflate tires. Each tire has a manufacturer's recommended PSI located on the sidewall. Please follow the recommended inflation setting. Install reflectors. Install seat post reflector, colored red, located in the small parts box, to the seat post with a Phillips head screwdriver. Use provided shims, located in the small parts box, as necessary for a secure fit. Install handlebar reflector, colored clear, located in the small parts box, to the handlebar with a Phillips head screwdriver. Final check. Make sure that everything on the bike is secure before riding. Make sure that the bike shifts gears properly. Make sure that your front and rear brake function properly. Make sure that the handlebars and stem are tight and do not move when you hold the front wheel between your leg and twist them. If for any reason you do not have the proper tools or are not confident to build a bike yourself, we strongly suggest that you take your bike to a local bike shop for assistance or have them assemble it. They may charge you a fee to do so. Please read owner's manual before operating bike. Thank you for purchasing your bike from Performance Bicycle and enjoy the ride.